And then after, I don't see Scott here, so we'll ask Chrissy to lead us in the pledge. Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day and for the opportunity we have to be able to meet and discuss the items of the county. Father, we're grateful for this land and for the opportunity and the freedoms that we do enjoy and for the many blessings that we received. Please bless us this day that we might be able to have thy Spirit with us, that we might be able to do those things which would be pleasing unto thee. And Father, please bless those who are out serving us in our armed forces and our local emergency services. Please guard and protect them in their dangers, and please help us that we might be able to remember those who have gone before us, that we will be able to live our lives in such a manner that will honor them. Again, Father, we're grateful for this land and for this community and for the good people that are in it. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand and say the pledge with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Chrissy. Let's see. We have any reviews or future agenda items? We don't have anything. We do have a former agenda item.
Is that what Corey's on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Corey, you want to come up and just run your item past us here?
It's just a suppression system that's finally been completed and turned in and just needs a signature on it.
Okay.
It's out on mile marker 12 and I-84. Mr. Peterson.
All right.
Perfect.
There you go, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Corey.
Okay. Do you guys have anything? I guess we don't have, we do have minutes. Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
It's okay.
I'd make a motion that we approve the minutes from our January 22nd, 2020 meeting.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Looks like we're up to Mike Olson. You want to come on up and state your name for the record in the microphone and kind of explain to us why you're here.
Yeah, okay. Michael Olson. I am here because last year we owned two properties, and last year we changed one into an LLC, not realizing the implication that would have on our greenbelt status. And so then we changed it back later in the year. And somehow it didn't get attached, or I don't know the exact terminology, but we lost our greenbelt status, and now we have to come to the, as described to me, we have to come to you guys to get approval to just get it back there. So we changed it back into our original names. And
When did that change take place? When did you finally get it changed back?
the letter that I sent to you, it was November 5th, so we got it changed back
Okay.
prior to the deadline.
Okay. Our assessor's not here, but Diana is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diana, you want to come up and just explain the county's position or your guys' obligation in this, just so that we have it for the record too?
Do I move?
Just grab a chair. No,
Just
you
grab
don't need
another
to sit
chair.
there.
Yeah, you can stay
We'll
sitting
just
there,
grab
Mike.
another
Just
chair.
Slide over, yeah.
So what happened was...
You grab the mic, just state your name really quick so that we have
Diana
to-
Gerhart for the assessor's office. So what happened was in April last year, like Mr. Olson said, they had two properties. The second property qualified based on the first property because it wasn't 5 acres. So they changed it into an LLC, and I sent them a rollback on it in May. It changed in April, I sent the rollback in May. He called, we chatted about it, I explained that it didn't qualify based on that it wasn't enough acreage. He was gonna check on some things, decide what he was going to do, so on and so forth. I never heard back from them or anything, and then in October, when rollbacks aren't paid or due, we attach them to real property at that point, before tax notices go out, before they go to print. So then when it hadn't been paid, we had no choice but to attach it to the real property before their tax notices go out. Once it's attached, we talked to the state tax commission, once it's attached, it's out of our hands in the assessor's office. We can't unattach it, so to speak, unless we feel like it's been an error or something like that. So at that point, we can't do anything about it. And then in November, they did do another warranty deed, changed it back into their name. So it now can qualify and go back into Greenbelt. So the issue is the rollback.
Okay. All right. Mike, were there any extenuating circumstances as far as how come that didn't get done before the attachment?
I thought I had till the end of the year, to be honest with you. I didn't realize the attachment occurred in October. But we were working with Benson Astle to try to buy that acre in between the two properties, if you see on the map. And that was supposed to occur at some point, but it never did. So we just decided to abandon that idea and just put it back in the original name. I
Okay.
did bust my leg on November 9th, right after we had put it back in our names, and was kind of out of it for a few weeks.
Okay. Just, I guess, and I'll let these guys chime in on what they think. We try and be really careful in these situations because, like Diana just explained, once they attach something, they're just following the state statute, and they don't have any recourse at that point. And so they're just doing their job. And so and they do a good job, and they're thorough on what they do, but sometimes I think they get a bad rap because they're following the rules. In light of that too, I do think that that the $6,000 rollback's a pretty stiff penalty. So.
Because it was only in basically that for however many months, right?
Yeah.
And then
4 or 5 months or.
November.
Yeah. So basically, it's been paid, but correct? And I think
Well, my mortgage company increased my mortgage from like $2,000 to $3,100 to pay it this year.
to pay it for this year. Okay. Okay. That was my understanding. I thought it had been paid. Okay. You have anything, Commissioner Scott?
Now that it's back, you still have the rollback for the 1 year, is that correct? And then it would be taxed
Rollback
at
goes to
the
the previous 5-year.
5 year. But now that it's back, I mean, it's still showing as a tax owed. And so going forward, it would be under what it was in 19, or what it was in 18, but for 19, it's still showing that they owe the rollback amount. Is that correct?
Right. It still shows they owe the $6,000.
For the 5 years prior. And that's not a lot of fun.
Right.
When you were going through it, did anybody talk to you about the possibilities of this? I mean, anybody that you were, like you said, you were trying to buy an acre and all this other stuff. Did anybody tell you when you split that up that says, anybody anywhere saying, hey, you're gonna be out of Greenbelt if you do this? Did anybody explain that to you? Like anybody you were talking to, or is that just
Well,
something?
talking with Diana, she explained that I needed to get either like another, 6 acres or something somewhere else and kind of tie it to that property, or else an acre right next to it.
So that's the first time you knew that it wasn't qualifying then, huh?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know, the LLC that we put it in has exactly the same ownership as, 50% me, 50% my wife, so it didn't really make sense that it would roll back.
Right.
To qualify. That's where the problem.
And that's where the problem came in.
Mm-hmm.
Because technically it's two different entities. If you've got joint tenants versus an LLC, it's two different entities.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I honestly don't have a hard time rolling it back for that 5 months because of the plain fact that I think it was a misunderstanding. So
yeah.
knowing that going forward, you probably won't do it again. So if that's something that, I said for 4 months, I think it's a pretty stiff penalty to learn a lesson with, so.
It is. I guess I just want to emphasize that, not just to Mike, but, for anybody, for the record, they do need to be diligent. It's their responsibility to make sure they're on top of those things, because a lot of times they're depending on the assessor's office to be telling them everything that they need to do, and it's really, their responsibility to follow up on stuff, and so, but,
And then breaking your leg, I think, didn't help you at all either.
yeah,
so
I'm sure that didn't help.
extenuating circumstances, so if I need to put that in a motion, I'll make a motion that we do the rollback for, Mike Olson. It's on tax parcel 03-081-0018.
Can I clarify something on that?
Yes, you may.
Dave? If I understand this correctly, since this already took place and it was a prior year and the rollback happened, it's not necessarily getting rid of the rollback, it's a forgiveness on that at this point because it's taxes due, and then it wouldn't be eligible for, it wouldn't happen again in 20 because it's eligible for Greenbelt. So that would be the correct way that would have to take place.
Essentially, because it's already happened, you're just forgiving the taxes.
Right.
And the things it's the normal things that you consider there. You're collecting taxes not only for the county, but for several
The
other
other-
entities, and you're
right.
forgiving taxes for them as well.
But if this would have never happened, then they wouldn't have been able to get the property taxes in the first place. And if that's what I said,
Right.
and it's already been back into Greenbelt, so.
No, I just wanted to clarify that for the motion, because we wouldn't be forgiving the rollback or getting rid of it, because that already took place. We would be forgiving the taxes.
I'll never roll back.
Now, the taxes that were due just under the normal green belt, those would still be paid for 2019. Is that correct? Or if we forgive it, is it forgiving
No.
it for all of it?
You're just talking about the rollback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rollback portion.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that.
Would you like me to,
Now,
That'd be a friendly
the other thing
amendment.
that could happen is if, just get all the scenarios out there, the rollback could be gone. And so if it were to be taken out of Greenbelt again this year, there'd be no rollback
Correct.
left, right?
Well, it's going back into Greenbelt.
But then if it were taken out again, there's no rollback taxes that would ever be collected.
Well, the rollback was attached, so once it's attached, I don't have any authority
Right.
to do that. It has to be,
But you follow what I'm saying there. If it were to be taken out again, there would be no makeup taxes because it's been forgiven for the prior years. You see what I'm getting at there?
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's something we should clarify to see if it would be attached again if for some reason, and I don't see it happening again. And so did your mortgage actually pay it up front and then they're just charging you per year?
Yes.
So then you'd have to go back to your mortgage company and they'd have to rebate you also.
A document from Diana and
Okay.
send it to them for them to stop charging me so much.
That would be the only hesitation that I would have, because that wouldn't be equitable to the other taxing entities, and I don't think that would be
You're
proper.
creating, now, the rollback is 3, 5?
Five.
5.
5 years.
So essentially, you're creating a windfall for the next 5 years.
Right. And I don't know that we have the ability to put any parameters on
I
that
don't know as you do.
to state that it can't be sold within the next 5 years,
No,
because
I don't think you could do that. But that's just something to be aware of.
Okay.
your intentions on this property, hanging on to it, you gonna go out and subdivide, I mean, that's the only concern that I have is because
Are you
that
saying
is-
that, like, if we were to sell it in 2 years, then because of this motion or whatever, then they wouldn't have to pay the rollback tax?
exactly.
If they split it.
Yeah, it's basically negated the previous 5 years.
I mean, right now, our intention is to keep it. There's a house on it. We're renting it out. I can't say for sure that we wouldn't sell it in 5 years. I think
Right.
I think my wife would be unhappy with me if I said that. But
Break your other leg.
yeah,
That's the only concern that I have because we have had this exact issue come forward to us where there's been a greenbelt issue, and it's been denied because it was proper the way that it went out, and so they've had to pay the greenbelt rollback before they developed the property, and so it would, in my opinion, it would set a bad precedent for other developers in the county if through a technical loophole that took place. That's the only hesitancy that I have.
it's our intention to hold on to it.
So do you want me to amend my,
That's the only concern. Yeah.
because if he'd have done it before October, before it went out, it would have actually gone back in and it wouldn't have never been attached.
Correct.
Correct.
If he'd have made the change before then.
Yeah,
And it was done before the end of the year, before the end of the tax year.
Right.
But it just missed that, and so it was attached. But it did create this other circumstance, and like I said, that's the only hesitation that I have. If it were to be sold in the next 5 years, and it creates that issue. Is there? And I mean, I can't think of anything we can do.
No, I'd have to look into that. I mean, the only thought that comes to my mind is rather than forgive it, you defer it for 5 years and then forgive it.
but then it's still,
Saying there.
that wouldn't do anything to his
Wouldn't
payment.
work.
Helps them
Mortgage
because
company, that
it's-
wouldn't satisfy the mortgage
Yeah.
company.
Yeah, you'd still have to pay it out, and then you'd basically have $6,000 sitting there in 5 years.
Windfall.
But who would
Come back.
refund that at that point? And how would it get refunded?
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
If it would have been a blatant thing and you were doing it for a prosperity thing, I think I'd have a little more heartache, kind of like what Commissioner Scott's having about it, but where you were trying to do it to probably set up a trust and split the stuff up between the family and stuff, like I said, I don't have a problem with the forgiveness of the tax.
I don't either. I mean, on the rollback,
Yeah.
my only concern is
It just puts us in a tough spot.
just
Yeah.
that technical loophole that it leaves open. That's the only concern that I have, so.
Well, stick around for the next 5 years and then you can make sure that doesn't happen again. That's the only thing I can think about.
So, I
Alrighty
mean, I
then.
guess we
There's
have
a
a couple
motion.
options here. We could table it till the next commission meeting and have Steve look into the other options if you want to, or we can just make a motion to,
That would be my preference, is we see if there's something that can be done, because like I said, I have no problem. To me, it's more, clerical. It's just the unintended consequence that it created, and if we can figure out a way to remedy that, I'd have no problem
Are
moving
you guys
forward.
okay for 2 more weeks if we table it and then come back?
Do some research.
Okay.
Okay.
okay?
Okay, you make that motion and then I'll sit here and talk about it for a little while and I'm just kidding.
Okay. Wow, he went there. I would make a motion that we table this until our next meeting so we can do some research on how to work this out.
Okay, I'll second that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thanks for
thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Hope the leg gets better.
Yeah.
Thanks, Diana.
We'll make sure, like, you need to talk to Jesse or somebody, make sure.
We'll just make sure you get on the next agenda.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Jesse, will you put that down?
That will be in the
Thanks.
morning too, so
Yeah,
if for
that's
some
gonna be
reason,
at 11:30.
and for some reason, if you can't come back, we'll let you know.
It's the
20,
19th?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Bruce Larkin, is he here?
He called in and he has asked us to postpone him.
Oh, okay, so
Oh.
we're, okay, we'll skip past that one
There
then.
we go.
I didn't think I'd seen him here.
Okay, is Brianna here?
Hi.
Aye. Just state your name for the record in the microphone.
Brianna Nordgren.
Okay.
So I am here because I would like to request RFP done for South Willard so we can obtain some trash removal bids.
Okay.
So I feel like we can maybe get some better rates since we're an incorporated city.
Okay. That's something that we can do, so.
Well, the question I had, do we have any jurisdiction over that? I mean, technically, because from what I understand, it's independent. And since it's independent, is it up to each individual household to contract? Or would it be a special service district, or how would something like that function?
Weber County just did it on non-incorporated, and this would just be part of unincorporated.
So we'd be doing it for all unincorporated area?
No, I think we can just do it for a certain period, for certain
Or a certain
places.
area?
That's a good question, Commissioner. I don't know I have to look into that. I don't know. So is there a contract in place right now?
From what I understand, each household contracts independent with the service provider that they would like to go with. Is that correct?
Basically, well,
For each household?
Yes and no. For a long time, it's just been, there's only one company that would service the area. So now we are looking at help because we're a larger city, even though we're an unincorporated city,
Right.
or whatever you want to refer to us as. We just would like some assistance with
Yep.
that.
The largest, fastest growing unincorporated area of Box Elder County.
You got it.
How's that? Okay.
And we love it down there.
And I don't know, Commissioner Summers, I don't know to address your issue. I don't know if we can divide the county, unincorporated
That's-
into sections
that's
without
my-
the special service district. I don't know the answer.
yeah,
That's what I
and
wondered.
that might be
And
something we have to look
certainly you
into.
could do it countywide, but I don't
Because-
know as you can
Because
do it for.
the other thing that we're getting into then is that we're basically acting
As an
as a
agent.
city entity trying to manage a city, and really the county's not equipped to
Yeah.
manage cities. We're, but we don't want to get into that either.
But we do it with fire and snow removal and
Yeah.
everything else, so.
On its face, that's why you have special services, so you can divide different areas
Right.
up. I don't know if we can treat one part of the county different from another part of the county.
That's my concern, is if it were an unincorporated Box Elder County contract, then would that tie in Grouse Creek?
Yeah.
Because there's a little bit of a geographic barrier there.
Well, all unincorporated areas would have to be included.
Why don't we look into
So-
that and just see if that's a possibility because of the immenseness of the county that we can,
I don't want to be trying to say we can do something if we
Right.
find out we can't.
but we can take a look at and see if there's something that we can help that area with.
There was a feasibility study that was done by Zions Bank Public Finance about 5 or 6 years ago about South Willard incorporating,
Mhm.
and it came up about sixes. It was a little bit less expensive down the road to incorporate or to annex into Willard. Things have changed in the last 5 years,
Mhm.
so now I think it would be substantially less to actually annex, and for Willard and South Willard to be one city. That's the latest information that I have, because I think it would put the population somewhere between 32 and 3,600 people,
Correct.
and some economies of scale and everything. So there's been talk about it. I know that there's pros and cons and those that are for and against. But, if something like that happened, then you're just going through a municipal contract, and it would be one contract for the entire city.
Right.
Because we know, well, you've dug into this
You
and know more about garbage than you want to know, but
Yes.
that Willard does contract, and so that would be, but we'll take a look and see what we can do with that
Yeah, we'd
portion
appreciate
of
it.
that. So
So that's why I'm here, just to see.
that's the only bad part about having two other cities between, well, actually three, because there's just nobody else out there besides you guys at the tip, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we'll just
let's
table that until
table that and we'll
we get more information.
get more
on it.
information and get it back to you
Perfect.
as
Cool.
soon as we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for your time,
Thanks,
Brianna.
thanks for bringing that up.
Okay. Looks like
Let's see you say this name.
Ben Nadowski. Did I
That's
make
pretty good.
close?
That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
Come on up.
I'm
This
sorry.
is the reason that we always have people state their name into the microphone so they know how to pronounce it. So
Now I know why you guys asked me to be chair. Make fun of me trying to pronounce people's names.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. My name is Ben Nadolski. I'm the,
See, that was close.
as of 4 weeks ago, I'm the Northern Region Supervisor for the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources. So my purpose for being here is actually threefold. First, to introduce myself. I know that we've met before and worked together in a lot of different capacities in the past, but I look forward to working with you guys in my new capacity. But I don't think I've met Commissioner Scott yet. I don't
no.
forget a face.
So maybe if you shave the beard off. we can turn
I'm
into
usually
the dark
Health
side.
and Human Services. I'd rather handle DNR and DWR. It's a little more outdoors and more fun, but
Yeah, it's surprisingly there can be more conflict than you might anticipate, however. But I hope today is not one of those
Nope.
moments. So number two, the reason I'm here is to give to you guys our annual payment in lieu of taxes. So I have a check for you today for the amount of $11,049.89. I know that's not a huge check, but
Every little bit helps.
I also know in rural Utah, every bit certainly does count. So I'll present that to you, Mr. Chair, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And I'll ask you for a signature as well.
that's one he's happy to sign.
That's right.
Yeah, and when you talk about rural, I mean, 90% of our people live on 10% of our land, and we kind of quoted the phrase that we're not rural, we're not urban, we're herbals.
Herbals.
Yeah. So,
Herbal.
That sounds more like wildlife than it does anything else.
so we're close to that.
I'm happy to say that we don't, at the Division of Wildlife, we don't manage herbals. I'll leave that to you guys. But third reason I'm here is, of course, to answer any questions that I might be able to answer, or more than likely get you an answer if I don't have the answer.
I was in a meeting 2 weeks ago. Was your, second week?
Yeah.
And I would just be happy to tell you that things are changing for the better. So it's good to see Ben having an effect that's going to affect this area in a good way. So
Thanks,
we appreciate you, the things you've already done and the things you will do in the future. So
I appreciate the kind words, but also, your partnership in these last. In my prior role, I was the legislative liaison for the Division of Wildlife and crossed paths with Commissioner Summers quite a bit at the Capitol, and he's always a really vocal and effective advocate for your county on
Vocal.
public lands issues. I know that's going to be hard to believe, right?
yeah, I'm so quiet.
But he's
Reserved.
also been really reasonable to work with, and the goal has always been solutions. And I couldn't be more in agreement than if there's a challenge or an issue. A lot of managing wildlife is managing challenges and issues. So we're happy to try and help provide solutions whenever we can.
We appreciate that.
We certainly do have tools, and we plan to put all of those tools to the best use that we can.
I was looking forward to working with you.
Yeah, we just had 2 good meetings out west in Park Valley and Grouse Creek with their CRM folks, and there's a few concerns that they have. They'll probably get with you. What was her name, Laura or
Yeah.
Kaylee?
Well, and then you just
So-
promoted
Kaylee.
Christensen.
Correct.
So he was there at both of those meetings too. So
Good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know Jim Christensen, but he's our
Uh-huh.
new big game wildlife section manager, and he's
Yep.
going to do a really good job. He's got a really good plan for how best to manage things. So,
He's from Bear River City originally.
yeah,
He is.
it's Alan's
yeah.
boy.
I'm glad you mentioned the CRM, because I was just looking at our completed acres by county for projects for restoration through our watershed restoration initiative. Box Elder County now has over 172,000 acres treated. That's an impressive number.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of that is thanks in large part to that CRM.
CRM,
It's functioned very well for a lot of
Good
years.
group of people.
Really good private-public partnership there, and
We actually had people from Cache County over this way because they wanted to know why Box Elder's CRM worked so well, which
Yeah.
is a tributation to the people that started it and has kept it going. So
Yeah.
those people out in that arena do a really good job.
well, and for context, Cache County had just over 24,000 acres, and that's a lot of acres, right?
Right.
There was even the gal from Idaho that came down.
Yeah.
See how it was.
Birdie.
From Raft River.
Yeah, from Raft
Yeah.
River that came down to see how it worked too. So
Excellent. I do want to leave each of you with the business card. I'm very accustomed to being contacted 24/7, so don't be shy if there's something that does come up.
You sure you want to do that with him?
Yeah, I think I'm used to it.
All right.
He's already got my number. My name hasn't changed, like I said, but
thanks, man.
yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
Sure appreciate
Thanks,
you guys.
Ben.
That's
Appreciate
awesome.
it, man.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming up. Drive
Thanks a
safe
lot.
back.
Yeah.
Have an excellent night, and good luck on the next 5 more years of service.
Drive safe.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
I'll stick around for the next one. and then
Okay. All right. Ashley. And I think she got a presentation there. Kajowski?
Yeah, that's it.
Is it close?
Yeah,
good.
Hey.
exactly it.
I looked at both those last names. I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm not chair.
Okay, just state your name for the record.
I'm Ashley Gajowski. I work as a wildlife biologist at the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources.
Okay.
So I'm here to present the Willard Spur Waterfowl Management Area Habitat Management Plan. So we're at this step in the process. We presented to the Northern Region Office staff and our stakeholders like the National Audubon.
You need to move that a little closer. So
Oh,
just
yeah.
move it towards you.
Yeah, you can pull it down
Okay.
if you need to.
And then we
There
presented
you
to the DWR Habitat Council, and now we're here presenting to you.
Yeah, when you want me to
Slide.
advance it, so, there we go.
So for a management plan, we have to have a statement of the proposed or anticipated uses of the area, a description of any management limitations or conditions covering the area, an inventory of what's there, a statement of what we want it to look like in the future, and a list of strategies that we might implement to achieve our desired conditions of the area, and then a description of any relocation of water or other resources. Okay, next slide.
There we go.
So this is just a general map of where the Willard Spur is located within Utah. But if you go to the next slide, it's a close-up picture. So that area in green,
So this is the new one that Casey Snyder did,
yeah,
right, last year? Okay.
yeah, HB 265.
Yeah,
Yep.
sorry, I had too many of those numbers running around in my head. Okay.
So yeah, the green area is the outline of the Willard Spur WMA. It's about 14,000 acres. And then to the north is Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge, and to the east is Willard Bay Reservoir. So next slide. This is a picture that was taken in 2013 from another biologist at the Great Salt Lake Ecosystem Program of an aerial view looking at the west access road going north. So you can see the spur to the north and then to the northwest, and then to the right's the reservoir. The next few slides will show other aerial pictures of the spur. This was taken in kind of a dry year, and it's giving you a look from looking west towards the spur.
We were out there 2 years ago on airboats
Oh, cool.
and really got a good look of it at it. So, well, that and the Phragmites.
This is an aerial photograph from satellite imagery showing the sandbar that will appear when the lake is below 4,200 feet. So you can usually see it pretty much all the time right now. And then this I took on December 27th of 2019 with a drone, and it shows you the condition of that west access road. It's pretty rutted and
Rough.
wide and really hard to drive down. I think the next one is a video. I don't know if it'll play, but it's 5 minutes long, so we don't have to watch it, but it just kind of shows the road and how bad it really is. And the reason why I made the video is because The Division of Wildlife, in partnership with the Bureau of Reclamation, wrote a grant for the Federal Lands Access Program.
Oh,
It's playing really well on my screen. Does anybody else want to watch this?
you can send it to us.
It's okay. It just shows that road of the picture that I
So is
showed
this
you.
this the flap?
Yep, the FLAP grant.
Hey.
So it's a grant, and you know it?
We heard about it at CRM,
Oh,
Yeah, we just
nice.
talked.
but they said
actually.
that they're about 2 to 3 years out from doing calls for other projects, and so it sounds like we missed the last round.
Yeah, I think it's 2023 next.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're familiar, it's a way to try and improve access to federal lands. And since Bear River Refuge is to the north and Willard Bay is to the right, we were able to partner with them to help and try and get that road improved. So we'll see if we get it or not.
Okay.
Great.
So that's a project that we're hoping to do on the spur. And then, sorry.
All right.
So if you just go to the next slide, I think.
Yeah, let me see
It'll
if
be
I can.
fine.
Everybody get up and dance.
Manually advance
Wake
that.
everybody up there.
There we go. Maybe.
Doesn't want to play now.
If you'd like to, I can send you the YouTube link.
It's thinking.
I know
So
he's-
the road
he's listening.
is like 5.43 miles that we're trying to improve. And hopefully, if it does get approved, it would be a 22-foot wide road with a 4-foot bike lane and then 7 parking areas.
Wow. That's awesome.
We'll hear about it in late April, if it gets approved or not.
It's stuck on that video. It wants to be played.
So this is the same program for Fish Lake that they actually did and was able to go from the highway clear to Fish Lake, from my understanding, so.
I think I did see that in a list of like previous
Mhm.
approved projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to?
It's not responding, huh?
It's locked up. It won't do anything. Let's try this.
Well, I can talk a
Yeah,
little bit
just
about
say,
it
well,
if you'd
you
like.
could go ahead and just explain and try and get it caught up.
So I know that one of the main reasons why the DWR wanted to acquire the spur is because it's such a great productive area for birds. And one of the unique things about it is that there's no impoundments or water control structures. It gets its inflow mostly from Bear River and then also spring flushes. And it makes it for a really natural area that has shallow and deep areas, and it's productive for shorebirds as well.
We're back.
Oh, here we go. And so the purposes of having the spur now are to preserve that natural state that it's in and not to put impoundments or dikes on it and allow public access all year round. And we're also going to provide for those same recreational opportunities that people like on the spur right now, like bow fishing and kayaking and airboating and hunting. Next slide.
I was heavily,
It'll go.
so I was heavily involved with Casey. He came over and asked us about the whole ordeal because he's actually from Cache County.
Okay.
So him and Joe Ferry came and talked to all of us when this was
There we
was
go.
coming. So we were just making sure that the citizens around were available to be able to take a look at this. And he, like I said, really came and talked to us and brought it out in front of us to get our support for it. So, and that was good since he's from Cache Valley.
Cool. So with the spur right now, there aren't any water rights associated with it, but that is an action item for DWR to always look for those if they come up. There's no mineral leases on the land as of now, and they're going to continue with invasive plant mitigation with an MOU with Forestry, Fire, and State Lands. Okay. So the DWR plans to maintain the boat ramps and the access roads and hopefully approve that west access road. And then also assure that appropriate signage is up in the area that states the rules and the boundaries, assume primary law enforcement, and then also monitor and control the invasive weeds. So There are some bird surveys done around the spur. We do goose production counts and then breeding pair counts for ducks, but there are no on-the-ground survey activities, mostly because there's no infrastructure there to do that. There will likely be no bag checks unless there's more time for our wetland managers. They have a lot of areas they have to cover. And right now there are no facilities, so with that grant, we don't have any written in there, so there probably won't be in the future either. So about 30% of the area is emergent marsh, and 36% is open water, and then we do have other important habitat, a little bit of uplands, and then a lot of mudflat and playas with that natural flow. The main concerns at the spur are Phragmites, carp, and then predators like raccoons. And then sometimes there's not enough water and it'll be a little too dry, but that's also a part of the natural fluctuation. And so this is a photograph provided by the Division of Forestry, Fire and State Lands that shows their proposed burns for 2020 to help combat Phragmites up in the northeast and then the southwest.
If you've never been caught in a Phragmite on an airboat, you just aren't living. Holy moly. Remember those days, that day?
Well, a lot of the frag that it's below the water. I mean, the root structure on those things they're terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't believe the stands when we were out there a couple of years ago, and I mean, it's obviously spread since then. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I know one of the main concerns was that north area where the boat ramp is. It's kind of makes it dangerous for airboats, so that's why they're proposing a burn there.
they figure they lose more water out of the Great Salt Lake because of frag than they do from transpiration. So
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And then this is a map. It's kind of hard to see where the location was, and I'm waiting on getting the coordinates to like box it in to show you in the spur, but this is where they were doing frag spraying efforts last year.
Will they be able to actually bring out cattle like they were talking about in some of these areas? Because they were saying that the cattle actually came and ate the Phragmites and did a better job than most of the spraying did.
Yeah, they do that on a lot of the WMAs.
Or
Right now,
goats or
they're
sheep or...
yeah. Right now, we don't have any contracts written up, but I don't know if that'll happen in the future. So it's going to be open year round, and obviously that main access road needs repair. Everyone can still do everything that they've done there. And hopefully if that road gets improved, we'll be able to have more law enforcement.
I hope so. I need a new place to kayak, so that'll be cool.
Firearms will only be allowed during waterfowl season, and that is shotguns with non-toxic steel. And then there's parking along the dirt access road because it is so wide, but there's no formal dog training area. And then this just shows the main access points. So you can access it from I-15 on that northeast side or on that rutted road on the west side. And that's it. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Actually, when I was just thinking about when you're talking about water, can the DNR actually file on that Bear River Bay water and start making that a thing until we actually start using that as a bay? I think that might be something that might be a good thing for both us and the DNR to be able to have you guys file on some of that water and actually start using it in the process instead of just letting it flow. So that might be something you want to take a look at, because I mean, we're at now, what, 2050 on the Bear River Bay? But if you could file on that and start making some of that water available for that arena, that might be something that you might want to look at.
Yeah, we have that down as an action item to look for any water rights that might be available.
Well, there's 278,000 acre feet,
Yeah,
so.
you got 220, you got 60 for us, 60 for Cache, 50 for Weber, and 50 for Jordan Valley. And so it's just kind of there. It's the conservancy districts, but it's just like Commissioner Summers mentions, it just kind of flows downhill because there's no place to store it right now. So,
But it'd be basically doing the same thing, but flowing through your
yeah.
area. I mean, that's the same way that somebody needs to move. The lights just went out. Anyway, but that's something maybe to take a look at to see if there's any way that you can file on some of that water and start using it
Okay,
in the
thanks.
future.
Yeah, if there was some sort of coordination that could be done with the conservancy districts in the meantime for beneficial use in this area. So,
Yep.
good
that'd be
idea.
good.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thanks for coming, Ashley. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yep, somebody moved.
And the lights are back.
Thank you.
Okay, I think, Jesse, you're next.
Okay, we've heard back from 3 of the special service districts, and we've got some new appointees to put on those districts. Ben Ferry has agreed to serve on the Corinne Drainage District. Ben Fukui is agreed to serve on the Iowa String Special Service District, and Melissa Larson has agreed to do Fox Elder County number 2, which is Park Valley.
So moved.
And they've all been spoken with and they're all willing to serve.
They are all willing.
Okay. I just get concerned every once in a while that they might be voluntold. So I'd second that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, we really appreciate all those people that are willing to take their time out of their busy lives and serve on those boards.
Awesome.
So, okay, Scott, I believe you're up next. Since we couldn't find you during the pledge.
Yeah, I guess I should apologize. I didn't notice.
You're fine.
Until I came back
Chris-
in, I didn't notice
Chrissy-
I was the one giving the pledge.
Chrissy covered you.
You were
I
voluntold.
think she said something about a Diet Dr. Pepper, but
Got it. All right, what do we have first?
Looks like the current rezone.
GDK.
GDK rezone. So this is ordinance 508. It was requested to rezone approximately 150 acres. This is located at 6,000 west, 4,000 north. It's just north of Corinne. The area is currently zoned A20, which is agricultural 20 acres, and the request is to change that to RR5, which is rural residential 5 acres. This went before the Planning Commission on January 16th, and a public hearing was held, and the Planning Commission found that it was compatible and met the approval standards set forth in our land use code, and forwarded a recommendation of approval. So that is before you at this time.
Okay, any questions, gentlemen?
No, I remember seeing this in Marcus's packet, so I would make a motion that we approve the rezone GDK Corinne.
508, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we're on to the Lish subdivision.
All right, next item is the Lish subdivision. This is a 2-lot subdivision. It's located at 16620 north and 16640 north, 3600 west. Basically, approximately 2 acres, just shy of 2 acres, being split up into 2 lots, 1.60 acre lot, 1.06 acre lot, and a 0.86 acre lot. This subdivision's been reviewed by all applicable departments and comes with recommendation of approval.
Been busy, haven't you?
We have.
I'll make a motion we approve the Lish subdivision.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Gordon Craner subdivision. This is a 1-lot subdivision located at 1365 north, 6,000 west. It's 1 acre being split off of a larger 20, looks like it would be 21.6 acre parcel originally. So the remainder parcel is 20.6 acres, and the new buildable lot will be 1 acre in size. Again, this one went through all applicable departments and comes with a recommendation of approval.
Okay. I'd make a motion that we approve the Gordon Craner subdivision.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next one is the Brant Danker subdivision. This one's located at 4596 north, 6800 west, out on Iowa String Road. It's a 5.5 acre, 1-lot subdivision. This one as well has been through the review of all applicable departments and comes with a recommendation of approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Brent Dakers subdivision.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
And finally, we have the Silver Ranch subdivision. This one is a one-lot subdivision, 3.834 acres in size, located at 5378 West, 10800 North, kind of wedged between Elwood and Tremonton. And it has also been through all applicable department reviews and comes with a recommendation of approval.
Okay, I'd make a motion that we approve the Silver Ranch subdivision.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
In case most of you missed it, we were in the Deseret News. It was one of the top growing counties in the state, 15%. It was just came out this last week, so things are happening. Some good, not good.
Maybe to correct, I think probably our fastest growing area is up in that Garland area, more so than South Willard.
Even
Yeah.
more than South Willard right now?
Yeah.
There's lots of rumors in South Willard, but not any actual growth right now.
Yes.
Jeff, did Jenica remind you she has a follow-up item? Do you want to do it during this or closed session? It's an open session.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you want to just call her up while they're finished.
Sure. Since you're done signing here, I'll have her go over that.
Doesn't like that one.
Getting in the crossfires of signatures here.
Yeah, no, we started with that, sorry.
Let's see. Here you go, Stanley.
There's one.
We're coming at you from both sides.
Yeah. Get them from all sides. Yes.
Scott. Scott. Can't believe you missed that. Getting carpal tunnel.
Purple time.
Did you already do this one?
Yeah.
What?
I did that one. So,
Nice. Road really needs work. Have you ever been out there?
I think.
One of those.
Oh, I've already got those.
Some of those I haven't.
It's almost like the road and grass creek.
Wait a minute. This one I already did.
Some days.
Yeah.
have Brett over there.
We had just heard about that.
Already got that one, so.
It's funny that she should bring that up.
Okay, so that one's done. We gotta have Keith play us some music or something while you guys
That's
are
what I was,
signing.
I was just gonna tell Jesse, thanks for pitch hitting.
Yeah. Better not ask Keith, he might play some Ozzy Osbourne or something.
Back in black.
I'll start on those.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize you didn't have those. Okay. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Jenica, you want to come and follow up on a former agenda item?
So 2 meetings ago, you guys approved a policy pending Steve's approval, and we've decided to change the language a little bit in that change. So this is regarding policy 710. It's titled health insurance, but the language change, before it had said that if the health insurance approves someone to be on the medical insurance, that we would approve it. We have changed it to read, employees' dependents who are non-US citizens shall be eligible for medical benefits if he or she is a legal resident of the United States. So the issue came when a participant didn't have a social security number. The insurance didn't have a way to track them, so this would allow them to still be on the insurance without a social security number.
We had talked about that a little bit, so what was the policy number?
710.
I'll make a motion that we approve the policy 710.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll make a motion we go into a closed session to talk about,
Do we need to do an RDA?
oh, we got
Yeah,
RDA.
RDA. Mitch is sitting back there going, are you gonna do that?
No, we're gonna make you last. Sorry, make a motion we go into an RDA. Or you can just do that, right?
I think we'll just take a, we need to take a like recess from our main meeting and
Yep.
we'll just go into our RDA meeting. So Mitch. Let's see, we've got,
Is Jesse ready?
yeah, get things switched over. Let us know when you're ready, Jesse. Okay. Looks like we have some minutes to approve from January 22nd. You guys get a chance to look those over?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. Give Commissioner Scott a chance to pull it up here. If it'll pull up. I've got it here, but just,
I'll just look up there. It's all right.
There we go. All right.
yeah, I'd entertain a motion on the minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from our RDA meeting from January 22nd, 2020.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it looks like we have the RDA resolution 20-01. Mitch, do you want
Sure.
to speak to that?
So this is a survey resolution, as what we call it. It allows staff, myself, to get things started in a new project area. The three legal descriptions are 07035-001, 0004, and 07091-0004. Anyway, it's all owned by Nucor Steel up in Plymouth. Those are the project area, or that's the project area we're trying to create is around them for a project that they're working on. So
Okay.
That's the proposal, or that's, the survey resolution, again, is just one of those that allows, it's the first step in the state code that allows staff to start the creation of a project area. It's not the plan, it's not the budget, that's coming, so.
I'll make a motion that we adopt and approve the survey resolution. What was the number?
2001, RDA 2001.
RDA 21?
2001.
2001.
I will second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Looks like you've
Thanks.
named it Project Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mitch. All right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn our RDA.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll go back into our regular commission meeting. We have items for closed session, right, Steve?
I'll make a motion that we go into a closed session to talk about personnel.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.